Yes, so we were
You're on to
in
number 5 now.
we were in Northwestern Clarendon.
Yes,
And
yes,
we've been through,
Northwestern.
we have gone through that.
Yes, we
Yes,
went through
Warren Newby
Northwestern.
versus
Warren Newby
Richard
versus Assad.
Based on what I'm seeing, that is 50-50 at the moment. I won't say who has the momentum.
Yeah, man. No, we're not doing that. Go on to the others, case.
Yes. And over in St. Catherine, Southeast neighbor, where Robert Big Rob Miller is being challenged by Dr. Alfred Dawes. That's going to be one of the hottest contested seats in the general election. And it is 50-50 at the moment. I think they are locking horns at the moment. And I don't expect any shift or any form of momentum to change that. I think this seat will not be won or lost by more than 200 votes. Yes.
Wow.
And another that's going down to the wire this time around is Central Kingston.
Casey. Central Kingston.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. JLP have benefited in a lot of these constituencies from the reduction in crime and the loss of profit from crimes activities, where these constituencies used to be PNP garrison, where people would have to vote a particular way or just stay away from the political process. In a lot of these lanes, streets and lanes that I don't have to mention, neighbor, you will go and you see green flags here and orange flag next door. So the politics have changed. Now it's all to play for. Both candidates can go into the meat of the constituency and campaign and sell their vision to everybody. And that opens Central Kingston, left Central Kingston wide open, and anybody can win it. And from where I'm sitting, it is 50-50. The party.
Hold on, Casey. Hold on. We are having listeners joining us all the time. Tari.
Yes, neighbor, I'm here.
Please let us review from the start. Go ahead, Tari. Tell the listeners what we're doing and do the review for us quickly, please.
All right, so listeners, what we're doing is that essentially what you wouldn't know is that we have many battleground seats across the nation. And right now we are essentially analyzing the 10 closest seats that we currently have, or 10 closest constituencies that we have in Jamaica as of now. So we have so far spoken about 6 seats, and I'm just going to run that down quickly. We have Westmoreland Western with the JLP's Garfield James and the PNP's Ian Hales. We have St. James Southern with the JLP's Homer Davis and the PNP's Nikisha Burchell. We have Manchester Northwestern with the JLP's Damian Young versus the PNP's Michael Phillips. We have Clarendon Northwestern with the JLP's Warren Newby versus the PNP's Richard Azan. We have St. Catherine Southeastern with the JLP's Robert Big Rob Miller versus the PNP's Dr. Alfred Dawes. And we have Kingston Central, where the JLP's Donovan Williams will be going up against the PNP's Steve McGregor.
Virtually a dead heat in these seats. Wow.
Yes.
Virtually a dead heat, listeners. Forecaster, yes. Are you ready again? The other
yes,
4?
Yes, neighbor.
Go ahead.
Yes, neighbor. Another one, neighbor. Is
yes.
St. Mary Western.
Western St. Mary.
Yes, St. Mary Western. From here
that's
on,
the constituency of the chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Yes, Robert
St. Mary Western is too close to call.
Yes, normally a strong JLP seat with a strong JLP MP, based on the politics. He's the chairman of the party. He knows how to win an election. He have lost before to Julian Silveira. I think he got complacent and showed his neck to Julian Silveira, and we all know Julian can be a killer.
Well,
and he killed Bobby Montague in 2011.
Wow.
Well, Bobby rise again and won in 2016 and won easily in 2020. And the misery index, the post-pandemic stress, have gotten to the constituents. The people of Western St. Mary is of the feeling that they haven't benefit enough from the JLP government and the chairman of the party being their MP, based on what they see other constituencies are getting. So they're a little bit disgruntled. They showed sign they warm up to the Prime Minister when the Prime Minister went there recently.
Yes.
So I think Bobby will recover. He have recovered. I told you that he have recovered that same evening. The Blue Dot poll came out that had him trailing by 20%. It wasn't actually 20% at that time. That poll was done about a month and a half before.
Yes.
So he is recovering well. I think he's still trailing a bit, but he's where a top sprinter would want to be going into the final stretch. And he's a champion jockey. But this one will go down to the wire. Omar Woodbine is a formidable candidate and is well known around the constituency, and he knows that constituency. It's a ding-dong battle, and it's 50-50 at the moment.
Wow, my goodness gracious me. This is fantastic. What a news. Hold on there, Casey. Tari?
Yes, neighbor.
How many seats we have there now? Out of the 10, how many?
Out of the 10 right now, we have 7 seats, neighbor.
Tell the listeners what we're doing, Tari. Tell them.
All right, so listeners, good evening once again. As you know, we have battleground seats across Jamaica. And what we are doing is we are essentially listing the 10 closest battleground seats across the nation. And what we are doing is we are essentially listing the 10 closest battleground seats across the nation. We will begin in Westmoreland Western with the JLP.
What you need, what I'm asking you to do, the listeners want to know who are the members of parliament, which side?
Which side?
Yes, which side currently, have these seats in parliament?
Okay. All right. So of the 7 seats, there are 6 seats that belong to the JLP and 1 that belongs to the PNP. So I'll tell you, for the JLP seats, we have Westmoreland Western, where the current member of parliament is Morland Wilson. We have St. James Southern, where the current member of parliament is Homer Davis. We have Clarendon Northwestern, current member of parliament Philip Henriquez. We have St. Catherine Southeast, current member of parliament is Robert Big Ramillo. We have Kingston Central, current member of parliament is Donovan Williams, and maybe surprising little some, we have St. Mary Western, where the current member of parliament is Robert Bobby Montague. And for the 1 PNP seat that we have on this list, it is Manchester Northwestern, where the member of parliament up there would be the son of Dr. Phillips, which is Michael Phillips.
And these seats are too close to call, Tar.
Yes.
In other words, the Jamaica Labour Party could retain all, but what would be the other probability, Tari?
Well, the other probability is that the People's National Party could retain Manchester Northwest and flip every other seat on this list.
Yep, that's what we're saying. Wow. Explain probability there, Tar. What probability means?
Alright, so probability essentially means the chances or the likelihood of something to happen, essentially. So how likely an event is going to occur, essentially.
Yes.
Neighbor. So in this case, I could say that the likelihood of all these seats flipping to the People's National Party, I could say that there's a 10% chance of that happening, at least in my opinion, right? But I'm not the forecaster here, Casey is, right? So I leave that one to Casey, but that's essentially how a probability would work. The chances of an event.
And explain to the listeners that what we're doing here is the 10 closest seats. These are the 10 closest seats to 50-50 on the island.
True.
Yes. So listeners, when you look at the 63 constituencies in Jamaica, these 10 seats are the closest at this time. They are literally a dead heat. 50-50, right down the middle. They could go either way, and that's just a statistical fact. You were explaining probability, Tari. Were you through?
Yes, neighbor.
Yes, okay.
Yes, neighbor.
Yes. You have 3 more left, Casey.
Yes, our next seat takes us to St. Thomas Eastern.
Yes.
Where Dr. Michelle Charles is going up against Rosemary Shaw. History have been kind to both political party in this constituency over periods of time. Most of us in our recent political memory, due to our recent political memory, we would say that St. Thomas Eastern is a PNP stronghold. But before it was won by the PNP, before it, Dr. Fenton Ferguson beat Pernell Charles, it was a JLP, it was a strong JLP seat for a long period of time. Then Pernell Charles' daughter, Michelle Charles, came back some 27 years after to avenge our father defeat by beating Dr. Fenton Ferguson in 2020. St. Thomas Eastern warm up to the People's National Party again by giving them majority of the votes across the constituency in the local government election. But why we cannot use that as a marker that happened in so many other seats, some that the PNP don't even stand a chance of winning right now. But nonetheless, it shows that there are still a large amount of comrade in St. Thomas Eastern. So this one will go down to the wire, and this one is political organization on the ground will take home this seat. I think Dr. Michelle Charles may get some leeway because of the government in power. St. Thomas should be kind to this government and should be grateful. And St. Thomas Eastern is the battleground constituency in St. Thomas. So I suspect that that's where the government performance will have an impact. But nonetheless, I see it as a 50-50 seat going in. It's one of the closest 10.
One of the closest 10?
Yes.
Dr. Charles' seat is one of the closest.
Yes. It's in the top 10 closest.
Okay. You're not saying that it is one of the closest in the 10. You are saying that in this 10, it is included.
Yes.
All
yes.
right. You are now at 8. What is the 9th seat?
And we skip the battleground parish, neighbor. The battleground parish in the country over the last 4 decades is Hanover. there have never been a CFC in Hanover, really. But this time, at least one leans JLP and one leans PNP. But nonetheless, they are going to be close come election day. Western Hanover, the seat that was given to Ian Ailes since 2007, and he retained it for 13 years. He was beaten in 2020 by Tamika Davis, who must either have bad luck or bad timing, because by the turn of February last year, she and her candidates, her councillor candidates, were beaten badly by almost 2,000 votes. And most people would have right off the JLP in Western Hanover. I'm happy to report that the JLP have recovered in Hanover, and they have made stride in Western Hanover, and the whole parish is where it used to be before, and Western Hanover will be a battleground this election, as is Eastern. I can forecast both at once because there won't be much to choose between them. Only history I will use to say, to lean maybe Eastern a bit more to the JLP and Western a bit more to the PNP. But Hanover will be the battleground parish with 2 battleground constituency. That should make the 10, but I will give you one more neighbor.
Yes?
Yes, and that's St. Andrew Eastern, the seat of the finance minister. And
Dave
people
Williams. Sorry.
Yes. People will say
Dave Williams' seat is too close to call?
Yes, it's too close to call, and it's always it have always been too close to call. Neighbor. Fayeval Williams seat is one with 2 divisions. The Papine divisions normally kind to the PNP, while Mona division is stronger for JLP. Within both division is support for both parties. The JLP do have strong support in Papine, but the PNP support is stronger. And the PNP also has good support in the Mona division, but the JLP support is stronger. Normally, Mona division comes out with the bigger number and the wider margin, which help JLP to win the seat more often than not. So it always edges to the JLP, but this one is a battleground. And even if we don't get a battleground result on election night, it will be a battleground challenge, because wherever Patricia Duncan Sutherland goes, she puts on a show. She was in Southeast Clarendon for the 2016 and 2020 election, and if you remember correctly, they were that was the most talked about, one of the most talked about constituency in both elections.
You're right.
Yes.
That's 11?
That's 11. Yes.
Okay.
We don't have 11 closer constituencies than those in the country.
Wow. All right. Tari?
Yes, neighbor.
That's it, Tari. You want to know?
Yep.
Tell us what we've got here tonight on the forecast.
Yes, neighbor. All right. So, listeners, what you have essentially received here tonight is a comprehensive list of some of the closest, or if not the closest, battleground seats within this country, meaning that they are 50-50, too close to call, a statistical dead heat, and it will come down to the strength of the base and the organization on the day. So there are 11 seats, And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call the seats, tell you the candidate, and if I'll tell you who is the MP as well, so that we can have a clearer understanding.
None of the parties are winning these seats convincingly at this time. None of the parties.
No. None of them are winning.
Hold on, we want to make that clear. None of the parties are winning any of these seats convincingly at this time.
Convincingly.
None of them.
None of them.
Hold on there. Before you go to Casey, only one of these seats are currently held by the Jamaica Labour Party.
No man, People's National Party, neighbor.
No, only one of these 11 seats are currently held by the People's National Party. That's Northwest Manchester.
Right.
Yes.
So 10 Labour Party seats right now are too close to call.
Yep.
Yes.
Casey?
Yes, neighbor.
10 of the seats that are currently held by the Jamaica Labour Party, you are suggesting, are at a point where you cannot call them for the government?
Yes, neighbor. And incidentally, 10 of those 11 had the lesser number by the count of the local government elections in 2024.
I want to be clear. I want to be clear what you're saying here, Casey. You are saying to me that of the 11 seats that you are forecasting, you are not able at this point to say that the Labour Party will definitely win these seats. You're not able to say that.
No, that's why they're in the 10 closest. I cannot say definitely win. If I think they would definitely win, it wouldn't be in this category. It would be in the category maybe where West Central St. James is, with Marlene Marau Fort, that I don't put into my safe seat column. But I would say it strongly leans to the JLP.
It leans, yeah. These that we have are not leaning either way.
Yes. Some may lean. They are lean here or there, neighbor, but they are close. They are within the margin of error.
All right, let's stay with that terminology. So the 11 seats that we are going to read out for you now are a statistical dead heat going into the election. In other words, polls coming out of those constituencies. Well, let's not even do that. They are close seats. Close seats. 10 of them are currently held by the Jamaica Labour Party. It appears that the PNP has bounced back. Go ahead, Casey.
Yes, neighbor.
Yes.
And what I would like to explain to you, if PNP should win these 11 seats, they will still, well, they would have had a phenomenal election. They would have exceeded everybody's expectation, including Mark Jefferson Golden. But it still wouldn't be enough to win government.
Wins all of these 11, you think that the PNP themselves will be surprised?
Yes.
Well,
yes. And if they win this 11, that will take them to 24.
Yes.
Yes.
Why, I tell you.
And they will still need some 6 seats.
They'd have to pick up about 6 more.
Yes. 6 that I can't see them picking up. Honestly.
And if they are going to win the election.
If
they are going to win the elections, if they are going to win the elections, they have to carry these seats.
They have to carry these seats and carry 6 more.
Comrades? Wow. Tari?
Yes, neighbor.
Let's hear them.
All right, neighbor. So we start with Westmoreland Western, where the current member of parliament is Moreland Wilson for the JLP. The JLP's candidate there is Garfield James. He's going up against the PNP's Ian Hales. We then move to St. James Southern, where the current member of parliament and JLP candidate is Homer Davis, and he's going up against the PNP's Nikisha Burchell. We then move to Manchester Northwestern, where the JLP's Damian Young is going up against the current member of parliament and PNP candidate Michael Phillips. We then go to Clarendon Northwestern, where former G2K President Warren Newby is going up against Richard Azan, and the current member of parliament for Clarendon Northwestern is Philip Henriquez. We are now at St. Catherine Southeastern, where Big Rob, Mr. Miller, Robert Miller, MP for St. Catherine Southeast, will be going up against the PNP's Alfred Dawes. We are now in Kingston Central, where MP Donovan Williams of the Jamaica Labour Party will be going up against Mr. Steve McGregor. In St. Mary, former Minister of Transport and Mining, Bobby Montague, will be going up against the PNP's Omar Orville Woodbine. In St. Thomas Eastern, daughter of one of the speakers of the House, Dr. Michelle Charles, will be going up against the PNP's Rosemary Shaw. In Hanover Western, some persons say this is a quiet lady, but strong nonetheless. JLP's Tamika Davis, MP for Hanover Western, going up against the PNP's Heather Miller Bennett. In Hanover Eastern, will be JLP's current MP Dave Hume Brown, going up against the PNP's Andrea Perkis. And in St. Andrew Eastern, the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Honorable Favour Williams of the JLP and MP for the constituency, will be going up against the PNP's Patricia Duncan Sutherland.
So they calling that one Bank of Jamaica versus JMMB.
Oh, Bank of Jamaica versus JMMB, okay. Okay, I live in this constituency, but it's the first I hear it.
I didn't say that. I heard someone with it.
Okay.
But anyway, neighbor, I also want to point out that of these 10 seats, going into the last general election, only 3 were held by the JLP.
Yes.
And the JLP went into the last general election with 34 seats. And in 2016, of these 10 seats, only 3 were won by the JLP. And in 2011, none of these 11 seats were won by the JLP.
Say that again, please, for me, Casey.
In 2020, the JLP didn't only went into the 2020 general election with 3 of these 11 seats.
Only 3?
Yes. In 2016, the JLP only won 3 of these 11 seats. In 2011, the JLP didn't win any of these 11 seats. In 2007, the JLP would have won only 2 of these 11 seats. So, this group is not necessarily the group that the PNP is hoping to win the election. This group is a group of seats that the PNP needs to take to have a chance at winning the election.
Wow.
So that's why the road to victory for the PNP is tough. And any realist will see that.
Yes. All right. Tari.
Yes, neighbor.
Just give me again the PNP, the seats that the PNP were leaning PNP. Some of them are in this group, not true?
Let's see. If some of these are in this group, neighbor. I am looking at the seats leaning PNP and I see it looks like it's only one that is leaning PNP in this group.
Only one?
Yeah, looks to be only one, neighbor.
How many you have leaning PNP?
Alright, leaning PNP, I had 8 seats leaning to the People's National Party.
Let me hear that.
Alright, so for the 8 seats, I had St. Catherine Northwestern.
Hey, Barry!
Being represented by Damian Crawford. I had St. Mary Central being represented by Omar Newell. St. Anne Southeastern being represented by Dr. Kenneth Russell. St. Andrew Southeastern being represented by Julian Robinson. Manchester Southern being represented by Peter Bunting. St. Andrew East Central being represented by Dennis Gordon. The only one I'm properly I had Westmoreland Eastern being represented by Dayton Campbell. The only one I properly had here that was on the list of 10 would be Hanover Western, being represented by the PNP, by the PNP's Heather Miller Bennett, as in for the candidacy.
Okay. All right, listeners, that's what we have on the forecast tonight.
So neighbor,
yes?
people say PNP like to say we're biased, but I don't put the seats that I see that is leaning PNP in the 50-50. So I don't drag them back. So I've always been kind to the PNP in my forecast.
Very kind. Very kind. Tari?
Yes, neighbor.
How many seats you have there leaning Labour from Monday?
Leaning Labour from Monday, I had 15 seats leaning to the JLP.
And 8 for the PNP?
Yes, neighbor.
And some of these 15 are in this 10? No, they're not. Casey?
Yes, neighbor. Some of these 15 are in the 10.
Yes, there are a lot of them.
Matter of fact, all of them seems to be here.
All right, let's take responses from the listeners. No, Jamaica Girl, let's open the box. Talk to Jamaica Girl and let's see if we can. Do you have a question for Casey? Casey, do you have a little bit more time?
Yes, neighbor.
Okay, all right. Listeners,
Sometime I want to choose the people I feel the question from. My tolerance is getting lower and lower. And as Mark Golden says, I can't let they carry me any lower than I am. Okay, Maki, I hear you. Tell Homer Davis to come over here and tell us.
Yes?
I would be happy to hear from him.
One day,
does Homer Davis want to join?
Yeah, Maki Flex is telling me that he was on a live last night saying he's way ahead of the game and he has the numbers.
I see.
That's what all the politicians says. I really think he will be ahead of Nikisha Burchell because of the strength in St. James and his experience. But it's close and he cannot be complacent. But he will say that for the psychological edge. That's how the politics is. But you don't be ahead of the game and lose in the numbers by over 1,400 votes in the local government election in your constituency. Local government are not, especially if you're in the parish of St. James. If you're in the parish of Manchester, I could understand. So he had work to do up until February 2024. I know the JLP have recovered. He would have done some work, but way ahead of the game. I think that's a psychological speech because the psychological edge is a part of the politics. I think Homer may come home after all, but way ahead, no, he's overstating it. But I would listen to why he's saying that. So we would be glad to have Homer Davis here.
Go ahead with your question, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Go ahead with your question.
Good night.
Good night to you.
What I really want to ask Casey, is he going to do another poll close to the election?
We don't do polling, you know, sir.
Sir?
We don't do polling.
Are you going to do another based off his analysis? Yes?
Yes, we analyze things differently
I don't hear
as we see things change. We analyze things differently as we see
Could you
them
repeat?
change. As soon as we see things change, we analyze it differently.
I lost him.
Just listen, sir.
As soon as we see things changing,
Okay,
we analyze it as we see
yeah.
it.
Because one of the reasons why I asked if... Yes.
Pay attention.
So, so spot on, so I would like you to do another follow-up to see how close...
Yes, we continue to do this every week, almost every day of the week. So just stay tuned. And as things change, we give you the change. If we think Andrew Holness is in some trouble in West Central St. Andrew, we will be telling you.
Good night, guys. Good night. Good night. Real quick.
Okay.
So as you guys know,
You're so spot on, you know, so I would really want you to go again and see how close you would go.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that.
I would really
so
appreciate
just stay
it at
tuned.
that time.
Just stay tuned.
So yes. Yes, neighbor, big up yourself.
Big up, man.
Casey,
Yes, sir.
write down this, right?
I was just saying hi to neighbor, tell him to big up himself.
Yeah, man. Respect,
Yes.
So,
Yes, man. Big up yourself.
and East Portland and Mark Wallen is here with
Yeah, you think gone global, you know. The whole world are listening.
Yes?
Yeah, man. 100%.
Respect, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, the whole world are listening, brother.
I tell you.
You can't wrong for the people. You can't wrong for the people.
Where in the world are you? Where are you?
Go, yeah, man. When you go up on the other program, them a be a quarrel and cuss, and I ain't no go on here, so.
Okay, where are you, sir? Where are you listening
Respect
from?
for that.
Where are you listening from?
Well, I am from Centon, you know, but I'm not in Centon now. I'm in Canada now, but you know, I don't miss the program.
Fantastic. Yes.
I'm from Zega constituency.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're from
Yeah,
mainland.
That's where
All
I'm
right.
from.
All right, Kotaruan. Big up yourself. Who's the
Yes,
next?
but I'm coming
who's the
on to
next-
pay
next
Jamaica
person?
Green, to pay Jamaica Green.
man, me there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Kota. On to the next person.
Yeah, so me say Casey, write down this, right? So Mark Wallen that East Portland, I think the office Isaac. And if this is the support and Marie was
We're not hearing
I'm
you.
not-
We're not hearing you so well, sir.
you're not hearing me.
You're low, you know.
So, I'm in East Portland. And Mr.
Yes.
Wallen is currently there with Isaac in a office opening. Because them office they closed down for about a couple of years now, and nobody did use it. And also them plan this big event, and it was laughable. So I'm saying if these are the support to them, use and Marine.
No, sir. You have music in the background there?
No.
Huh?
My background is quiet. I still can't hear it. I'm not playing anything.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
You can't hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm saying I'm from East Portland, right? And Mark Golin and Isaac is having an office opening for the office that was closed on how many years now. And the support was minimal. They plan this big rally and stuff like that. If they think this is the crowd that are the support that will beat Anne-Marie Vards, they're sleeping with their eyes open. It was laughable at best. They didn't. So the office is a little bit from the main. They didn't even impede traffic. That's how minimal the support was. I know that PNP don't miss that one thing. They don't do. They don't miss their party event. When I see it, I was like, really? This is it? They're in for a rude awakening.
Okay, sir.
So anyway, bless up everybody on the panel. You know.
What is your name, sir?
Dean. My name is Dean.
Dean. All right, Dean. Take care of yourself here.
Yeah, man. Bless up.
Nice. Gentleman at the top, what is your name, sir? Bullet.
Yes, neighbor, a bullet man, a bulletproof of currency a constituency me come from.
All right. Go ahead.
Me just say me love listening to your program. Every night me listening to it.
Well, thank you.
Yes, man.
I appreciate it, sir.
And I want naughty and catching, you know.
That you say?
Yes, man. One currency and never two.
Oh?
Yes, man.
Well, her seat is not even in this list, you know, sir.
I
know
say
that?
go, man. I say go.
Is so she strong up there?
Yes, man. Well strong. You have some community up here, say be a labor live there, man. Not one PNP.
You know that her seat is, well, is it leaning? Is it safe, KFC? Is currency seat a safe JLP seat? Northeastern? St. Catherine? Tari? well, sir.
Yes, neighbor. It's a safe seat. I don't think the JLP have lost it since, I think maybe Phyllis Mitchell. Is that 1997? I think PNP won it in 97 with Phyllis Mitchell. I think Abe Dabdoo, Gregory Mayer, Leslie Campbell, now Currency Morrison. It's safe for the JLP.
Well, bulletproof. That's it. Currency seat gone back labor. Huh?
Mute back my mic, moderator.
Bulletproof. Bulletproof.
Man. Yes.
Yeah, man. When you get in currency to come talk to me.
Well, me have to go try. She not really up in her constituency right now, you know, because you know she's a busy lady.
Yes.
But me I try to get one of the councillor them from Guys with Division to come on the program.
Thanks for talking to me. You hear, sir? Respect.
Okay.
Who that? Well, Chip.
Good night.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. I sent a request the other night when Mr. Crawford was on, but I was not successful because I wanted to ask him one question, you know. But yeah, the country is in election mode. I'm from South Trelawney.
Yes.
It's a safe JLP seat, but
there's
strong competition that has never been here before.
Hold on. You say
right.
Is a safe seat?
Yes, it is.
You don't think Paul Patmore is going to take that for the PNP?
No.
No?
No. But he's trying though. But no, he won't.
Well, let's see what happens. You are from that constituency, sir?
I am, but yeah.
Uh-huh. What was the question you wanted to ask Crawford?
I saw where they were on the campaign and they were pushing out there that they was going to send one family to a university. I wanted to know where
one
they,
member of the family.
one member of the family. But if my math is correct, it's 3 million people in Jamaica. That's how much persons, that's how much member per family. 3,000. How are they going to fund that campaign? Or each member?
Well, sir, to be fair, I have a family. I don't have any member in my family that qualifies because my children are grown. You have a family, sir?
No.
Right. So you can't do the maths like that because there are several families in Jamaica that just would not qualify simply because they don't have any children or their children are already grown. Do you follow me?
Yes, I do.
Right. So that mathematical explanation is a little flat.
Yeah. I never look at it that way.
Okay. Well, I do not support that policy.
Okay.
No, I don't. And I don't think it is very well thought out because you begin from my position, you see, sir, is that we need to begin to define in a society what governments exist to do.
Correct.
And once you begin to understand what is the role of government, then you realize that something like giving degrees to families is patronage-based politics. And the PNP is very good at it, The PNP is very good at that. Clientistic. Because what governments need to do is to provide access
to free education.
Access. In other words, irrespective of where you are from, you should have access. No, the PEP results just came out.
Yes.
Well, sir, we have to fix that. Because you know what is egalitarianism?
No.
Okay. Now, there are some students, sir, by virtue of the school that they pass to go, will not be successful. And there are others under the same system that are guaranteed to be successful. You know the world on level, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So what government must do is to provide access to education. And the access must be to any family that wants their children, once the child is talented, wherever the talent takes the child, the government must facilitate it. The policy of the Jamaica Labour Party is more aligned with my own views of how governments are to operate. You remove the bureaucracy and the hindrances. Did you know, sir, that when I left high school, there was no way I could go to the university? How old are you, sir?
Okay.
How old are you? Hello, sir?
You're breaking up.
Am I breaking up?
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, when I left high school, sir. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you better now.
I'm saying to you, sir, that when I left high school, I couldn't go to university. How me I go? How? Who is going to guarantee a loan for me? When me I go get money to go to high school? Poor me. My mother could have barely, God bless her. Yeah. So then, but today, sir, today, every student,
Yes.
my understanding, that qualifies to attend a tertiary institution can do so. That's a progressive policy. Commendations to the
Yes.
to the Prime Minister and his team. That is a progressive policy
Correct.
because it recognizes that the poor, sir, are not able to find guarantors.
That's true.
Who is going to guarantor loans for poor people to go to university? Did you know that Michael Manley stood up in Parliament one time and said that education was free?
No, I
Up to
didn't know
the
that.
Yes, sir. You know that people used to attend university in Jamaica and don't pay $1?
News to me. I didn't
What
know.
you say? Really? Yes, man.
We're just 22, sir.
Well, yes.
Free just abroad yet.
free education up to you. But you see, the challenge with that at the time is that it was populism
Oh.
because the country just couldn't afford it. And I believe that where we need to go as a society is right back there.
Yeah.
Right back there. Yes? We need to build the country, build the economy, become a country of wealth creation, where the Prime Minister can once again stand up in Parliament and say, I am going to encourage Mr. Holness to do something. If you're listening, Mr. Holness, or if anybody listening to Mr. Holness, and I want you to tell him that neighbor said, you see September coming up? Not one red cent. That's what you need to say, sir. Tell Jamaicans that September morning, not one red. Parents must not pay 1 red cent for their children to go into school. All of those auxiliary fees must be removed. Every one of them. Nothing. The only thing that the parents must be responsible for is to buy books and uniforms and provide bus fare to give their children. Mr. Crawford say he wants to give 1 meal per day. This September, Mr. Holness, and if you do it, you win the election easy. Not 1 red cent. All auxiliary fees must be removed from our children. Parents must not be burdened by auxiliary fees. Poor people don't have the money, you know, sir.
It's true. It's true.
To find $20,000 and $30,000.
Some of these schools, the rates are just out through the roof.
And did you know, sir, that it was under the Bruce Golding administration that they removed cost sharing?
Yes.
But the policy of cost sharing is been diminished by this auxiliary fees. Because what the principals have done have tacked on auxiliary fees. Come this September, not 1 red cent at the school. In other words, your child must be registered and the government must fund the education of the parents can find lunch money and bag and khaki and uniform and socks and shoes and books.
Yes.
But when it comes down to auxiliary fee, the Jamaica Labour Party must remove it.
Okay.
Because I believe that the economy, I think we are in a position to do it. We must can find $5 billion to do it. Take off the auxiliary fees of the picnic them. But by the way, they are paying points in the Jamaica, you know, sir. Paying points. Yeah, and don't tell me about Park. Don't tell me about Park. This coming September, it must be a policy of the Jamaica Labour Party. Jamaica Labour Party, you are the party that now owns the progressive agenda in Jamaica. The Jamaica Labour Party, sir. You know, people. You know, some people say that I'm a comrade, but you know, quite frankly, I'm very disappointed with the People's National Party. I must tell you the truth. I am disappointed because the social progressive agenda of the Jamaica Labour Party is what the PNP existed to do, you know, sir. If you look at the history of the PNP, you know, sir, well, they may spend all day tomorrow talking about me again. So let me leave that alone. Right? But the Jamaica Labour Party now owns the social progressive agenda for Jamaica. It is the Jamaica Labour Party that removed cost sharing, that the PNP, the People's National Party, sir, the party that its leader stood up in Parliament and declared free education up to the university level. That same party put on cost sharing for Jamaican poor people. So people have to be paying school fees if you send them to go to high school. Nonsense. And the Jamaica Labour Party needs to go further with this policy. I would be prepared, sir, to pay a little bit more tax. If it's even not $1,000 more per month, for there to be no striking fees for our children to go to school. The parents must not pay a cent. And that is not, you know, sir. That is not saying that parents are not to be responsible. But you know how much money that a parent find to send them picnic at school for the week, sir? All $1,500 a day, you know.
Yeah, man. Especially
You know
rural areas.
But I send 2 boys to school. You know what tell me?
Yeah,
you know what tell me, sir. Sometimes they pick me I go as far all $2,000 you have to give me now.
Yes.
Now if you give your picnic $2,000 a day, that $10,000 a week you have to find. At $40,000 a month you have to find just for bus fare and lunch money, you know.
That's the bus fare. Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
Yes, and therefore we need to complete this progressive agenda by saying to our people, our parents, come September, this September, your government will pay the auxiliary fees of all children going to school, all of them. The government is providing bus service, which is commendable.
Yes, I saw that and I had to give them credit for that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, but give the parents a break this September. Mr. Holness, give the parents a break this September. Give the parents a break this September. No auxiliary fees paid by the government.
Yes.
If you do that,
neighbor.
and if you make that announcement on the make it a policy, sir, I guarantee you'll win 53 seats. You'll win 53 seats.
All right, neighbor. Thanks. I watch your night time, you know. So I'm here. I'm here in the comment section all the time.
Big up yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yes. All right, sir. Who we have next? Jamaica girl. You're not going to the office of the PNP for sure. Yes. Yeah. Rose. Well, she's off. Okay. Rose, is Rose that? No man, she not here. All right, this.
Sure, don't.
Hello?
A mistake, I pressed the thing by a neighbor.
Okay, all right then. All right. Alorin too. Alorin, I'm sure that's a mistake for you too. All right. Rose, she not there here. All right. Let's wrap up with Tari then. Alorin? Alorin? Okay. All right. She's gone. Tari?
Yes, neighbor.
Yeah, man. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? The listeners are just all over the place tonight. What's on your mind, Tari?
Yes. Neighbor, I was listening to your program earlier.
Yes.
Earlier before KC came on, when I think, well, his name isn't Mr. Utek again, but I know it was Mr. Utek when Mr. Utek was on here.
Morning Star. He says he's not Morning Star.
Right.
Morning he just came up in the box by error, he said.
Oh. Yeah, but I was listening to him purporting his evidence.
I wonder if he would join us. I wonder if he would join. Yes, let him come back.
To say that you are a member of the PNP.
He's here.
He's here. Okay, very good. Well, I hope catch a profile picture. Anyways, right, but I will say this though, a neighbor, and I'm sure many persons will agree with me when I say this.
Yes.
The Jamaica Labour Party has always been held to a higher standard. We don't dispute that. And I have been one who believed that I must hold my elected officials accountable. Yes, I am a Jamaica Labour Party supporter, but if I see something that is done wrong, or I see something that I don't agree with, I believe that our members of parliament, candidates, whoever they be, our leaders, must be held accountable. I firmly believe in that. I'm not going to be a fanatic for the party to the point where I defend the party with my life. You know, I'm about splitting justice. And because I hold the Jamaica Labour Party to such a higher standard, and I believe that the best, I should expect the best from the Jamaica Labour Party, sometimes it's natural that even I may be harder on the Jamaica Labour Party. And because the reality is, when my expectation is that, well, I expect better from the Jamaica Labour Party, I know that the Jamaica Labour Party can do better. I know that the Jamaica Labour Party, up there and things. So I'm always going to ask you the harder questions and ask you the more difficult questions to pick with your brain, because I know that there is a standard, there is a bar that you have set that through Prime Minister Holness, which I expect of you to achieve. As it relates to the People's National Party, people may say that, oh, we're too easy with the PNP supporters, or boy, the questions are not as difficult for the members of the People's National Party. But what I will say here is this. If I was to set the People's National Party to the same standard that I put the Jamaica Labour Party to, well, let's just say that won't end well. Because the reality is, neighbor, I have set the PNP on a high standard at some point in time. And the more I set them on a high standard, the more I realized that they were not going to be able to meet it. So I had to lower my standard of them and lower my expectation of them, because, well, I couldn't expect any better, right? So this whole thing about, oh, because someone asks easier questions to the People's National Party, they're a comrade, or because they ask easier questions to the Labour Party, they're a Labour. It's nonsense. It's all based on your
Nonsense, eh?
expectation. As the quote says, to whom much is given, much is expected. Right? So it's all based on the standard that you hold a certain party too. You expect me to be on here and I'm going to ask a PMP supporter, what do you understand macroeconomic stability to mean, and what do you understand when one says unemployment rate? You expect me to say it in that form of language to them, to the point where it is beyond a certain level of reasoning? And neighbor, it even goes back to what I was saying about word salad. Sometimes when I'm on this program or even other programs, people will tell me sometimes, boy, Tari, try, dumb it down a little bit for them, or you know, try change your words a little bit for them, because remember, say them not gonna really understand, you see, because you have to make sure, say, the common average person on the street and the road can understand.
Yes.
And it is still something that I am working on, neighbor. Best believe I still something I work on to this day.
What is that?
But as in, it is something I am working on is, whilst I want to speak effectively and efficiently and fluently and show off my English language, I am also working on making my message, how would I put it? Not necessarily dumbing it down, but making my message approachable and effective for the massive in terms of your regular average Joe.
If you talk and people do not understand, then you haven't communicated.
Right.
Right. So you shouldn't
and that's
just
the whole
talk.
point, because communication is a process.
Yes. Right.
It is a process
Well,
that we learn.
Mr. Morningstar is up top there. I don't know if he has a comment. Go ahead, sir.
I don't really have a comment. Because I think we got over this from literally yesterday. I don't really know why it's still a talking point, but I guess again, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just it.
All right, cool.
Okay. But
go ahead, Tari.
Yes, neighbor, I'm still here. But yes, and the thing about communication, I'm glad you pointed out communication. Communication is a process. And in that process, you have various elements of the communication process. Boy, I love sharing my knowledge from communication studies class. Oh my. Right. So you have the sender, right? The sender has to encode their message. In encoding their message, they have to conceptualize it. When they are conceptualizing their message, they must conceptualize it in a way that ensures that there is no ambiguity in the message, meaning that the message can have multiple meanings. They should ensure that there is no mixed message, or the message is not muddy, right? It should be as clear as possible, and it should be very clear and should clarify what it needs to clarify. And after they conceptualize it, neighbor, they will send it through various mediums and channels, you know, the internet, through social media, WhatsApp, whenever they're on a conversation on the phone, whatever it may be. And then the receiver on the other end of the communication process receives that message, to which they will then have to decode the message in terms of understanding what the message says, right? And essentially, as I said, getting their own understanding of it, and then they would provide feedback. Feedback is the response that they give to a message, whether it is that they decide to give a verbal response in terms of speaking or writing, or they give a non-verbal response with their body. And I mean, silence is also a response, so there's also that too. And part of the barriers that we have in the communication process, neighbor, sometimes we tend to have noise in the communication process. And one of the things I've realized with a lot of Jamaicans is that we tend to have a lot of psychological or semantic barriers or a noise within the communication, well, not semantic, but psychological barriers within the communication process, neighbor. Neighbor, for example.
Yes.
For example, me I want dieted labor rights. And me no like PMP at all. So anytime Mark Golding talk, me nah listen to Mark Golding, cause Mark Golding no make no sense to me, cause me no like PMP. Right? That is, me no want hear what them have to say, whether it makes sense or not. Me just want chat all day long. Right?
Yes.
That in and of itself is a psychological barrier. Yes, you are not fond of the People's National Party, but it does not excuse you from listening to what they have to say. I hear a lot of people asking about the People's National Party policy. And I'm not trying to bat for the People's National Party or campaign for them. But over time they have released somewhat.
There are some ideas.
They have released some ideas. There are some ideas coming out.
And some policies, eh?
And some policies, yes. I've seen the one from Lothang Cousins and the Crown lands in terms of allowing Jamaicans to access those lands in a quicker time period. I think it's 60 years under Act now. You want to reduce that to 25. It's a good idea, but my general opposition to it mainly would have been the untenable lands that squatters live on. I don't think that personally squatters should be allowed to own or acquire those untenable or unsafe lands that they live in. It can't be that persons are living beside gullies or living on terrains that are prone to landslides or land slippage, or if an earthquake is to occur and the soil is unstable, right, or the soil is loose, then they're gonna lose their house as a result. I certainly wouldn't think that should be a case, right? I saw them even come out recently with what's the other one? I remember Patricia Duncan Sutherland saying that we should implement an elderly advocate, right? And I was saying, well, you know, I'm actually not in opposition to an elderly advocate. As a matter of fact, it sounds like one of the more sensible ideas I've seen out of the People's National Party so far.
Yes.
Right? Because I know we have a national well, I don't remember the name, but I know we have a council for persons who have disabilities. I think it's the Jamaica National Council for Disabilities. So I'm thinking we could even have an elderly advocate. That is actually one of their good policies, I would say. The one that Damien spoke about as it related to the 1 degree per household. I haven't looked at it so much as yet. It sounds good on paper, I will say, but I'll still need to investigate those things. But going back to the whole point about communication, there are so many barriers though that really affect how we view and interpret things within the whole political landscape, right?
Yes.
And sometimes it's not even only the psychological barrier, neighbor. You'll have the physical barrier, right? For example, I'll give you a great example. When Jesus was feeding the 5,000 people were hungry, right? And Jesus cannot be preaching a message to a set of people who are hungry, so he cater to their needs first, right? And then he preach to them after them belly full. When you have people with them hungry and do anything, them can think both of food or them sick or them water or whatever else. That is also a barrier to communication, because they are thinking about what is their need, and their need must come first before they can even think on any other thing. You have you have environmental barriers, neighbor, in terms of the weather or the noise that happens outside and whatnot. But a lot of these things, I think that personally, we need to look within ourselves and say, all right, Yes, I'm not fond of this person. I'm not fond of this political party, but let me see what they are offering. You know, neighbor, last night even, I went on the website for the United Independence Congress because I
Uh-huh.
saw the UICs live. They were live last
Oh,
night, and I
they're going
actually,
live. They're going live these days.
yeah, man, they were live on TikTok. About I saw 7, 8 people there still, but I went on their live to hear what the person was speaking about.
You joined. You joined.
Yeah, I joined. I was just silently listening. I didn't speak in the box or anything. Just listening to what they were saying. I was a bit appalled and shocked though because and I maybe my psychological noise too because he was speaking a lot about the PSOJ oligarchy and the slavery that we're contributing to, I guess, in the country by keeping the two-party domination and everything else. And I said to myself that, okay, let me look on their website and see what they're actually offering. And looked on their website and they have a 31-point plan as well as a plan for their true representative form of government. And of course, I didn't understand everything in the moment. And well, I know Damien said chat GPT, although I didn't necessarily want to use it at the time in a neighbor, but I said, since it's for my own understanding, I'm going to use it to aid me in my understanding. And the more I saw their plans and what they had, I could see the pros, but I was more so, I would say, cautious and wary about what they were implementing, especially their true representative form of government neighbor. Because when I looked at the plan for their true representative form of government neighbor, they want to propose uh, they want to propose a non-partisan electoral system where they have representatives of the electorate at all levels, and all candidates must run and stand as independents for a united independence Congress and should not be funded by any person, group, or party. And they should be elected or nominated by local constituents only. They should live in the constituency. A whole heap of other stuff. And I looked at this and I said, I don't know how I felt about having 33 independents because that's what they're proposing, 33 independents and 14 senators, elected senators, as well as appointed ministers. I don't know how I felt about 33 plus 14, 47 persons in parliament.
Yes.
All of them independent. I don't know what each and every one of them stand for. That seems more like a divided parliament to me than a parliament that clearly has objectives, goals, and values. When you have the two
Hold on a
parties.
little there. Sorry, let us hear what some guests has joined us. Jamaica first. Who is that?
Yes, good night, neighbor. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
I'm so happy right now. Breaking news. The Prime Minister started the IC have cleared the Prime Minister right now.
Where is that breaking?
Nationwide, man.
Huh?
Nationwide.
Breaking now?
Yeah,
no,
man.
The breaking news.
Breaking news.
Statutory declaration.
When was that? When was that?
Last news
certified?
nationwide.
Huh?
Last news coming on nationwide.
Sorry.
Hold on, they have certified it now?
Yeah.
Because the most I heard was that the investigation was closed. That's the most I heard. I'm looking into it right now.
Can you check that for me, please, Tari?
Yeah, I'm checking on it now because
the last news that is there is that it was closed since July 24th.
Closed, right.
It was certified. It's just that
not that it was certified, it was just closed.
Going on from the IC offices now over to the FIDA.
Jamaica first?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Repeat
that for him, Tari, please.
Right. So based on my understanding, what I'm seeing is that it would have been the investigation would have been closed
And
from
move to
July
the FID.
2024 and moved to the FID. So I haven't seen anything on it being certified just as yet.
But I hear somebody was start play, I think I hear a clip of it and a live nationwide today.
All right, we're checking that as we speak, sir.
Okay.
Checking that as I'm looking into that.
Well, you would be happy for that, eh, sir?
Of course.
I'm
Very
sure you would
much
be.
neighbor.
You think it's a bit of a distraction, eh?
Yes, man. Because that's all the PMP them have against us. It was the IC report on the 28 account and the crime. Or the crime is done. Mr. Golden have 63 account. That out of it. 63.
63? Anything goes, sir?
32 active.
Oh.
32 of them active.
Class or whatever the case might, as me telling you that.
Well, okay. You haven't found anything there, Tari?
No, I haven't, neighbor. No.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to check on that, listeners, to see if there is anything more that we can report on that. Anything else, Jamaica first?
No, right now we're step on the go and I'm going to do some work, you know, Mr. Neighbor.
Yes. Where in Jamaica are you, sir?
South Manchester side.
You're in South Manchester.
Yeah, Ian Ives.
How is he doing?
Well, he's doing good so far and some house to house and some spot meeting.
Yes, but I understand that the Peter Bunting is doing a little better.
But the point is Peter Bunting is here almost 2 years and I see he's giving away his hat and band and cap, nothing else.
You don't get one?
All he's doing is giving away hat, Yanzi and band.
Yes, I'm asking if you get one.
Come on, neighbor man, I will never do such thing. I would never betray my country.
You have a green hat. You have a green hat, sir?
Everything I have green, neighbor.
Your girlfriend or your wife, green?
My girlfriend is the secretary for my division, my baby mother. Neighbor, to be honest with you still, I am not a die-hearted politician. I vote on policy, I vote on policies, I vote on achievement. And that's why I vote. I do not vote because
you really think that this government has achieved much, sir, and deserves to go back? You think so?
100%, neighbor. Based on where I'm coming from, based on how the country did stay before he came in, he made a big difference. Big difference, neighbor.
Give me a couple examples of what.
Just for instance, when I think about the crime is down 48%.
Yes.
Lowest in 30 years.
Yes.
Unemployment rate 3.5/. The lowest.
Yes.
Poverty rate 8%. The lowest.
Yes.
The debt to GDP is 68%. When Sister P left office 2016, it was 122%. The debt to GDP was.
Yes, sir.
And the best I'm seeing right now, we don't have to borrow money every day to do our normal business in Jamaica. I remember in the PMP time, to pay the teachers and nurses and doctors, they have to borrow money. And at one point, it was the registrar beer and the shepherd who was paying those people. And PMP was collecting a lot of tax. So this administration showed the PMP party that
They were collecting a lot of tax, but there was no revenue spending back in this country. So
you think the party is going to win a third term?
Well, that is my wish, neighbor. And I hope all Jamaican thinking Jamaican who's looking for a better tomorrow, a better future for their grandkids or their great grandkids, choose Jamaica. Choose this administration based on its policies, achievement, development.
May I ask you a question, sir? What type of work you do, if you care to say?
Okay, I'm a farmer right now.
You farm what you plant?
I plant catch crop and I raise chicken, I raise pig and I raise goat.
And is your life better than it was 9 years ago? You personally?
Yes, my life is better off than that, because to be honest with you, neighbor, I'm really a Montegunan now. I was born in St. James, go to school in St. James. And at one point I was struggling to make life with my family.
Yes?
Since I came to the countryside, I have achieved a lot. Since it's 9 years, I have seen growth in my life. Trust me. It's not like one time you just feel, me have it like that. I can choose what I want to eat, where I want to go, what I want to wear.
What you saying to me? Prosperity is on turn up for you?
Turn up, neighbor, turn up right now, trust me.
You mean you can go where you want to go, sir?
Where I want to go, do what I want to do, eat what I want. First time, neighbor, I wish eat something nice. I couldn't afford it. One pair of shoes for a foot. I know we have multiple shoes that we can change. Every day we can change a different pair of shoes.
From farming, sir?
Come on, neighbor. Farming is a very, very, very important thing to our country now.
How much chicken you raise?
I raise like 500 chicken.
You have Clarks, sir? Clarks you wear?
Neighbor, be a Clarks me here now.
Yes? How much you pay for one?
Last Clarks I paid 28,000 for it.
Hold on there now. 28,000 Jamaican dollars?
28,000 Jamaican dollars.
For your class?
And I bought a school shoes for my son September gone for $32,000 kickers.
Then let me ask you a question, my brethren. You can't bust me for one of the clocks.
Hello, neighbor. Neighbor, I'm not lie still. Things make a turn for we right now. We just suffer under the pain.
Hold on there, Jamaica first. Hold on. Don't move yourself. Don't turn up where you're there. You're in South Manchester, sir?
Yes, sir.
What is this I am hearing on this program tonight? Hold on. Show. We have 9 minutes to go.
Everything is going good for me this year, neighbor.
Yeah. Tell me something, sir. Why have you decided to support the Jamaica Labour Party? Why are you supporting them? Why are you supporting the Labour Party?
Repeat. I don't hear, neighbor.
Why are you supporting the Jamaica Labour Party?
Well, I support this party based on their policies, based on the achievement.
On the achievement.
And the way this country is projecting to go better.
Are you married?
Every day.
Are you married, sir? Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Not married as yet. Then when you tap out in them the
I'm not married Labour.
Yeah, when you tap out in them the
No, I'm not a married man.
yes, when you tap out in them the 28,000 and Clark's up.
I don't.
The girls them no rush you, man.
I'm not married. I don't intend to marry Labour.
Hold on. Yes, I'm asking you if when you tap out in them the 28,000. You know, sir, from the day I born, I never wear $28,000 shoes. You make me feel a little poor, man.
You don't have to think that, man. Send
me your numbers. His line is a little bad. That is great. Well, O'Shane.
Yes, neighbor. Good night, everybody. Yes, neighbor.
I guess you could say the same thing. We only have 6 minutes. Take 3, no?
Take 3 minutes. Yeah, man. For me, for me, it's definitely been a better time. Not the best time for me, but a better time. But for me, though, it's not just about now. And as I always say, it's not that I'm where I want to be or where I envision myself. But for the first time, you can plan, and unless there's a natural disaster, your plans should come to pass.
Yeah. Let me discuss something with you in the little time. Hold on, Shane. Let me discuss something with you in the little time that we have. And I've done this in terms of the notes. That I do not sense that there is any compelling narrative in Jamaica for a change of government. Do you see that?
No, there's no feeling for change, because what persons are looking for now is some consistency. The first time we are on a path that if we continue, we should see the fruits of our labor. The reality is, from 2008, when we went through the global economic crisis, from that time up until in recent times, we have been asked to hold tight or hold strain, and since 20, I would say after about 2016 coming up, we started seeing that holding tight was for a reason. We start
salt.
Yeah, we see why we were doing.
We used to suck salt through the spoon.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a time to be careless. If you realize that even when this election budget, even when the budget was gonna read for this election, what the main talking point was that the government do not come with an election budget to say run to make exuberant gifts and promises. Persons were holding the government accountable. I don't believe the government could have come with anything outlandish to say they're going to give you the moon, because they would have been attacked by the people, because the people don't want anybody at this time to come and be careless or reckless with the progress that we have made. So we are on a path, and persons are asking for continuity, consistency, and we are going to get to where we want to get to.
Yes, I believe it's the first time that we are so near to an election that you don't sense in the country that people are saying, get rid of the government.
No, they don't. The only
I may be an older man than you, but I've never any election in Jamaica where the sentiment seemed to be with the government.
It is. Broadly it is. And that is why
but that is amazing. It's amazing, O'Shane, that after 9 years, even if you believe the Don Anderson poll, even if you believe it, it is amazing that after 9 years, the government is very competitive.
And that is because I like the strategy of Andrew Holness. He has taken the 9 years to educate people as he moved along. when he gives his speech, he's explaining what is being done. He's trying to get a buy-in by persons understanding. If you listen to him talking, it's like he's teaching you as you go along. You learn about the economy as you go along. Even when he's speaking the other day to if you never understood what a debt to GDP is, you understand, you understood now. We broke it down for the common man to say, all right, if you earn X amount, you're going to end up spending X amount on debt and leaving nothing for you to pay for your roads, to pay for your teachers, to pay for your doctors, and persons are starting to understand why it was critical that we had to go through what we went through back then, and that why it's important that we protect it now. So he has done an amazing job as a leader. That's what leaders do.
And I think really that the opposition has not. I don't know that they know how to respond at this point. I really don't know.
They don't.
I don't know.
They don't, and and that is why they're relying on their base. If you realize the politics that they're doing is to just appeal to their base, that is why they go with all of this attacks, and because the only person that they want to.
By the way, is there
base.
Nissa, Jamaica girl? Is Nissa in the box? If Nissa is in the box, I will have to speak to her for 5 minutes. It's 9 o'clock. And I'm supposed to be closing at 9. I have to give Tari some time. But Nissa, are you here? I can't believe you treat me so bad, Nissa. Please.
But I was saying that even if their campaign is towards their base,
come on here, Nissa.
They're really insulting whoever is in their base that is intelligent enough to see what they're doing.
Stay with me, O'Shane. Stay with me. There's a beautiful lady who has joined us at the end of the show. Nissa?
Good night, neighbor. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I must apologize, first of all. I know I have been absent. I am sorry. It's not personal. I know you know it's not personal, but...
No, I think it is personal. I think it is personal. And you have gotten me into a lot of hot water. I've been trying to swim out of fire. But how are you?
Oh no! How is that so? I am doing well. I'm just listening to O'Shane here.
Yes. Yeah, Nissa. What I was kind of trying to pluck out of O'Shane is that I don't know how old are you, but I am way old man now. I have more years behind me than I have in front. But I've never seen an election where the government, the people of Jamaica are not advocating for a change. They are not. Yes?
And I think the reason for that is very simple.
Yes.
As O'Shane said, Prime Minister has done a very good job at timing the physical manifestation of his dreams for Jamaica, meaning the urban centers, the roads, the hospital, the hospital projects, all the health centers that have been worked on. He is able, as he's saying, to campaign on work that he has done. He has a resume as a prime minister. And so for the first time, he is challenging Jamaicans to think outside of partisan loyalty. And so now, and I believe the last time that I was here, we were discussing how does the prime minister break down the gains that Jamaica has had to a household perspective.
Yes.
And the truth is that what he has managed to do is I think my
okay, well, your battery?
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You plug in your phone, eh?
Okay. Yes, here we go. So what I'm saying is that he has managed to challenge the way Jamaican people think about what is important to them. Because I think this is the first time that we're going to have an election where the difference in the options is so stark. It is literally night and day. And because
tell
of
me
that,
about that difference.
it
Tell
is
me about that
causing-
difference, Nissa.
Sure, let's take it from an appearance.
Yes, let's
aspect before
break
anything
down that
else. When we look at
stark difference.
Yeah, man. One
Don't worry
of
about
the
this
things that came up in one of the things that came up in Don Anderson's poll was the fact that for the most part women tend to favor PM more than the opposition leader. And there's a very good reason for that. The PM is fit. He's always going on the road doing some kind of physical activity. And so he's communicating non-verbal strength in the way that he's always at a 5K, in the way that his shirt, I'm not saying his shirt too tight, but he makes sure that the shirt shows enough definition. So you see his muscles, you see the fact that his shoulders, no, but it's true.
Yes.
And if you look, no man, honestly, I'm not even
but
joking.
remember Jolette Holness said his body was tight and firm in
Yes.
But you see, these things play a factor in subliminal and psychological warfare. This is psychological warfare that Andrew is doing now, right? And he's
give her a little more time.
Appealing. He's appealing on many different factors. All right, so that's to the women. If you look at it from a very vain perspective, let's
I see that.
The physical aspects now. Like you see that urban center in St. Thomas is a big deal. Because when people pass out and see brick and mortar and people actually see where their tax dollars have gone, you cannot debate with that. That is irrefutable facts. And what the PM has done in his strategy over the last few months has basically just been every week, brick and mortar, 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 non-stop. And so he's telling people this is what we have been doing the last 9 years. It's not just last year we planned this. And that's what I love about the way his messaging has broken down in the past few weeks now. He's really driving home the importance of good government. That is his theme. That's his stump speech, right? Teaching people what does good government mean. He has a line you see where he says, some people are trying to tell you that government is not important, but yet they're saying, pick us, we will be the better government, we'll do better at being government. So is it that government is important or is it not important? Psychologically, he's tearing the PNP apart, and they don't have anybody
what you say to me?
Who no man, they don't have anybody who can strategically combat his messaging. Lisa Hanna would have been perfect for that because she studied communication. She studied behavior change. She studied this kind of thing. That her messaging is her thing. They don't have a communication specialist in the PMP, in the opposition right now, that can bore holes in the PM's stump speeches. So what he's doing is he's giving the PMP rope to hang themselves, and then the next week him bring up something that them say and him just tear it to pieces, tear it to shreds continuously. So he has been on a masterclass the past few weeks, just in terms of
it is trust me, it is something to
making
say.
the connection.
Yeah, it is something to
Absolutely.
say. What I'll add to that, I remember someone said that the Prime Minister is a chess player. I am seeing now that he is a master strategist. He everything that he does is calculated, and it is really, really messing with the PNP. They don't really know how to answer him. They can't answer. That is why they keep going back to their old the old things that they have been saying the entire last year, and then they realize even though it's not getting any traction, they keep resting on it, and the only person's hanging on to it is just their base.
But let me ask you this, Nissa. Is the message and all this chess playing, strategizing, is it resonating?
I think so. I am not a Don Anderson poster, but I sit down and I read comments on almost every video. And I can tell you that the difference between 4 months ago, when the PM's statutory declarations was a heighter topics and whatever, there was a lot more talk of corruption in just basic videos that you watch on TikTok, YouTube, like lots of people. You have even people in Africa that are vlogging about this election, and people are watching what decision Jamaica is going to make in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months. I have seen personally a shift with people moving from "I vote out the corrupt prime minister," to "No man, but man I work still," to "But PMP not tell me nothing. What are they offering? Right? And that is where the PMP are falling now. Because people are now recognizing, wait, this is a serious choice, Because the crime come down there. You see all that expo that JCF put on last week? Mightily impressive. Extremely impressive. And it got very good numbers online and very good reviews. And the commissioner from, don't remember the country right now, that gave the excellent review on Bermuda, on how the government worked with the leadership of the JCF to strategically, tactically bring crime down. That is it's not some random something, like people worked to get this thing down. They are starting to push the value of good governance in people's faces. And I believe, from what I'm seeing, people are starting to kind of wise up and say, hold on, this election is not a joke, we actually really have to really sit down and have a look at what is going on. So
tell me, Nisa, about the slogan, the Choose Jamaica slogan.
Excellent.
As a communication expert yourself.
No, man.
What do you think of that slogan?
Excellent, and I'll just give it to you in one answer. When you look at all of the community, the constituency meetings that he's having right now, the workers' appreciations meetings, the one thing that stands out to me that I love is that I can see Jamaica flags throughout the crowd. And that is so important, because what it is communicating psychologically is, yes, we are the JLP, but we are the JLP for Jamaica. We are not the JLP for JLP. If you win with the JLP, you win as a Jamaican. And so to see the flags flowing in all of the constituency meetings and that kind of camaraderie, funny, that should be a PMP term, but it is what it is. In the JLP, there's a spirit of togetherness. They're literally bringing the party machinery together. You can feel the energy in all of the videos. That Choose Jamaica theme, I think, is the perfect nail to drive home the comparison between the two options right now. Because one party is saying, time come, they haven't been able to tell us what for still. And the last time that I was here, I said to you, if the PNP can drill down what time come for, they have an opportunity to get into.
You don't think they have been able to do it?
Absolutely not. Where? I can't name one thing that they, what is it? And that is not to say that they don't have options that they could look at, but they are not strategic enough. They are not, they're head to this the message that they're doing is, what are they saying? People are suffering. That's what Mike likes to say. The people are suffering. The people can't do this. People can't do that.
Government have no integrity. But one other thing that you can look at as well, in terms of how can they get a cohesive message out? They don't know how to do it. So what they're doing, they're basically and they're destroying everything. They're destroying everything, and whatever is making sense at a particular time, they want to hold on to that. And so they don't know where they're going with their message. And this is where I think leadership is important. We got our message, or the JLP got their message from the fact that the Prime Minister led with, we're going to choose Jamaica. Everything is about Jamaica first, or putting Jamaica first and choosing Jamaica. And everybody took their cue from that. And then it's just one cohesive message. Everywhere you turn, it's about choose Jamaica. And because of that, you don't have to guess what it is about. It's about the developments. It's about the crime going down. It's about the people of Jamaica being at the forefront of the development of Jamaica. So if you look, whenever the opposition wants to attack the government, it's as if they're ending up attacking some form of civil service. They want to attack crime. It's like they're ending up attacking the police. They want to attack. So it's as if they don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do.
Nisa, thank you for that, Oshin. Nisa, there is a view building that the leader of the opposition is coming across as being inauthentic. That his attitude, his little dances, his speech is staged. It's crafted, and this is not him. Do you agree with that? Do you see a problem there?
Yes, I agree with it 1,000%, and it is also something that I struggle with when it comes to trying to sit and listen to his speeches. Outside of somebody who is a supporter of the government currently, I try to neutrally sit and listen to Mark Golding speak, and the Jamaican in me that has a very low tolerance for BS cannot do it. It is the
What is BS?
I can't, but that would be causing me to cow
bullshit. Yes.
It is. Let me tell you something, neighbor, about this kind of what I perceive to be inauthenticity from Mr. Golding. It is a form of one very subtle, insincere manipulation to trick people into thinking that you are one of them. But Jamaican people, right? We are people of the soil, we're people of the root. In other words, from we spirit not take you, we spirit not take you. There's nothing that you can say to us in our minds that will trick us in our guts. So when he's up there and doing this kind of patois that is very, I don't even know, a bastardized version of patois is what I would call it. It is not authentic. It doesn't come from the roots. It don't come from the ground, right? When the PM say, I am one of you, I come from where you come from, I've been what you've been through. And then Mark would say, yeah, you know, them come with them like a style and them da-da-da-da.
I and I, man.
And that. It's like, sir, just speak the way you know how to speak. You do not need to insult the spiritual and emotional intelligence of the Jamaican people to put on a farce of a personality that you are not. You don't need to do that. You can present who you are authentically as an individual and give people an opportunity to evaluate who you are for your policies, for your proposals, not for your this kind of jeez, man. It is. I find it so offensive. I find it offensive.
And I can share something, you know.
Sorry about that.
My wife doesn't follow politics. She's not interested in politics. But every time she hears me listening to politics, she cringes when she hears Mark Golding comes on. She said, "How you listening?"
I was born in a two-bed.
Hold on, dear.
My father is still a farmer. My mother is a retired civil.
Well, they want to play music here now. We have to stop them. Sorry about that. You were saying something about your wife, sir?
No, I'm saying she doesn't follow politics. But whenever she hears me listening, because I listen to everything, politics. So every time I try to, when I listen to even the PNP speaks or Mark Golding speaks, she said she can't listen to me. She's asked me if I can put in my earpiece when I'm talking, because she cringes when he speaks. She cringes when he speaks because him sounds so fake.
Wow. Nissa, do you think this is going to play heavily on voters and coming to you, Jamaica? Do you think this is going to play heavily on Jamaicans as they make up their minds to go to the poll? Mark Golding's authenticity?
Subconsciously, yes. And I'll tell you why. That is the instrument, the spiritual instrument that Jamaicans have always used to measure authenticity has always been at the forefront of how we decide we don't want to be around people, we're going to leave that situation, no. They could leave the party earlier, man, my spirit not feel good. It is always at the forefront of the way that we make decisions. It is an ancestral inheritance. It is something that we are blessed with. It is something that not many people have. So I am not surprised. Exactly. So I'm not surprised that the grandson of our enslavers would lack a certain kind of spiritual intelligence in this matter to understand that what he's doing is not the right thing to do. It is an affront. It is an embarrassment, and it is also saying that, yeah, man, I saw it easy to catch Jamaican people. Just chat two little patois and thing it there. So he can't even do it with an authenticity that can say, I have been through what you have been through. I've never heard Mark Golding speak like this, and he's been in our politics for a very long time. Very, very, very long time. So where is this?
You think it was a mistake? You think it was a mistake?
Yes, because it's a caricature. Yes, that's what it is. It's a caricature of our culture, and the people that follow him don't even recognize that he is disrespecting them in the way that he is putting on a farce of our culture.
You don't think they recognize it by now, Nissa?
I do think that there are people who recognize it, which is why you have a lot of people leaving the opposition party at the moment. But for some people, they still have to stay rooted and grounded in the party that they know, because that is tied to their
Identity.
social, exactly, all of the things that come with being a comrade. Right, so some people have to wait and say, well, you know, I heard Jamaica 411 say a few days ago that the strategy, one of the strategies that maybe the JLP needs to look at a little bit more, is driving home the fact that this PNP is not PNP but risers, and that a lot of the homegrown, authentic PNP, old school, old boys, old people with grassroots PNP are not really pushing the machinery of the party at the moment. At the base of the party is fractured, and so they could drive home a little bit more of the fact that this is a wishy-washy, hurry come up, last minute, orange clad.
This is not the PNP. You're saying
this is not.
Party?
No, it is not. The PNP of all would have presented a proper challenge. This is a farce.
Yeah. This is not a challenge, sir?
No, sir. I don't think so.
No.
They're banking on people not going out. And that is why they're searching for a scandal. And they're trying to manufacture a scandal because they know they can't beat him in a competition. They want him to resign.
Because you have to recognize once they can
Nisa, who is winning? Who is winning at this time, Nisa? Who is winning?
I have the Prime Minister ahead. And that's simply because he is in fine form, communication wise at the moment, even though he has a lot of difficulty with not having the kind of national media support that he should have, and that is due to him as Prime Minister of the country. There is a level of coverage hypocrisy and also coverage that he's not getting, that I believe falls short of his office. Unfortunately, that is what is happening at the moment, but he's aware of that. He has mentioned it several times, and he's now making it a point in his speeches to say, I have to big up the people on TikTok. Thank you to the people on YouTube. Thank you to the people who are here listening right now. One of his last speeches, he broke down what a social media algorithm will do to your mind if it is that you don't go searching for contrasting opinions or facts. And so he brought down the fact that right now, you have, if you are somebody that searches for positivity, if you search for the good things happening in Jamaica, then your algorithm will be tuned to that. You will receive that information. If you're somebody that is searching for negativity, you're only going to find the negativity. And that is one of the things that is a clear contrast in the options that we have here as well. One party, everything wrong with Jamaica. Nothing good now going on Jamaica. Everything mash up, everything want to fix. The next party, and the PM is very clear in saying we are not where we want to be as yet. However, this is what we have gotten done. Do not take a chance and gamble with your future and think that if you just choose somebody else, that all the plans we have is going to be executed. It's not a promise. So personally, just off of my little look-ins and comments and having discussions with people, there has been a significant, slightly, but still significant shift towards recognizing the importance of the fact that the two parties are not the same. And that, for me, is the message that the PM is driving home right now. The two parties are not the same.
Nisa, you touched something
Hold
very
on there,
important.
let me bring Tari in. Nisa, stay with us a little bit longer. But this is fascinating stuff.
Wait.
Tari.
Neighbor. I don't want to lose this because it's something she had touched. It's something she had touched, and I don't want us to miss it. When she spoke to the media coverage and the hypocrisy, I heard some time ago that a media personality said she's not the PR personnel for the government, and I accept that. However, I think you have a responsibility to the nation to record history, to present history, and to present things that are positive to your nation, to develop some level of nationalism and self-worth of a nation. You can't have certain things happening in the country and you are refusing to ignore it because you you probably don't like the government that is in, and you're a part of the national media landscape. How can we have something like a 50% reduction in the country's poverty rate, and you choose to ignore it? Things like those that we talk about, that we were not asking you to be a PR person for the government, but we are asking you to report the good just as how you report the bad. If you're going to hold them accountable for things that are negative, you are supposed to present the things as well that are positive. And these are the things that we are fighting against, because they are not giving, they're choosing to deliberately be a hypocrite in this situation.
Very good. I have one more question for you, Nissa, and then we're going to wrap this up. Tari, go ahead.
Right, neighbor, I was saying that specifically whilst Nissa was talking, I was saying that one thing we have to recognize, especially as Jamaicans, is that more while we tend to be very emotional as a people. And I was saying that once the PNP can use their language to evoke some form of emotion, then in their eyes, they would have won. They would have won in the sense that they are able to evoke a sense of emotion so great across the country, so great across the masses, where people feel as if this JLP government is in the wrong and this government is doing bad. So far, that plan has failed, neighbor. That plan has failed miserably, terribly. Because every single thing they try to do to evoke a certain response from the people, an organization or a news media comes out and refutes it and rebuts it, right, neighbor? So
yes,
let us not even focus on the noise right now, neighbor. Nobody focus on that, right? Focus on what the government has been doing for this thus far, I should say, right? Focus on what has happened to you. How have you benefited personally, neighbor, right? Because the reality is, especially why I even love communication studies, really, neighbor. The reality is, you see, Jamaican Creole, or sometimes they call it Jamaicans. You see, Creole, neighbor.
Yes,
Creole is used a lot to tell stories, lived experiences, where you go through, relate to the people them. And I like the point that Nissa and O'Shane pointed out, that when he tries to force a Jamaican accent and do his force Creole, it does not fit him, neighbor. It is unrelatable. Neighbor, it's not for him, neighbor. And I'm gonna be so truthful about it, neighbor. It is not something that is approachable to many of the masses in the country. And to be honest, neighbor, I feel I would even go further. I feel it is a disrespect of Jamaican Creole for him to be doing that. And that is me.
Wow.
Right?
So, Nissa, here's my final question to you. Coming back to you, Tari, we wrap up together. Nissa?
I'm here.
I feel, though, that, you so eloquently speak of the Prime Minister and the achievements of the government. But Nissa, the polls are close, and their anxiety, even Minister Morgan was here the other night, and he said there's a little anxiety that somehow there's a fear even that Jamaicans will not give this government the support that it ought to get. What explains that? What explains even the perception that at this time we are in a very close election? Earlier on tonight, our forecaster gave us 10 seats that the Jamaica Labour Party currently holds that are dead heat. What explains that?
Honestly, I'm going to be so frank with you, neighbor. I've been trying to sit and wrap my brain as well for the answer to that same question, because I intentionally try to engage persons who I see say they're not voting for this government. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And the truth is, when you have a society that does not quite understand how long it takes to recover from the kind of devastation that we have incurred or experienced over the last 30, 40 years, a full generation.
Brilliant point.
The time that people are using to measure their lived experience day to day is being measured against the timing of the government and what the prime minister thinks is even like a short time to get all the things that he has gotten done, which is true. To get the work that he has gotten done in the time that he has gotten done is amazing. But people do not live in years. They live in day to day and time and hour to hour. What I eating this evening, what I going to buy this week, whatever. People are also blaming, I noticed quite a lot of people blame the rise in prices in food, which is our global inflation crisis that we're experiencing right now post-COVID. People are pinning it on to the government and their lack of policies. And so the reason I think that it's a dead heat is because of a lack of understanding of the way economics. Is a lack of understanding of how quickly you can destroy something that took you a long time to build. And because Jamaicans have not been in a situation like, I don't think, for a while, we haven't been in a situation where we're actually at the cusp of being able to take Jamaica to the next level. There are a lot of people who don't understand how crucial this particular election is. They don't understand that. So I'm going to pin that back to faults in just throughout the society, just the fact that people lack understanding of how long it really takes to build the foundation of a country in a way where you have your systems are in place. The fact that people don't even understand the extent to which Jamaica bounced back from COVID. Many people take that for granted.
Yes.
Many people don't recognize the resilience that was built in through Nigel Clark and the legacy, the financial legacy that he has left us with in terms of now having a solid foothold into building on top of everything that we've done. People are just not making those connections. And it's some people are doing it, but a lot of people still can't see that. And it's unfortunate, but it's the reality. And unless people really take the time to sit and learn and care to learn about how government works in the other 4 years and not just the election year, then we're going to have a problem. So people's interests are peaked now because it's time to vote. But nobody cares about what's happening in the other 4 years. Nobody's paying attention to the Prime Minister, what he's doing, whatever. I hear people cussing about this rural school bus program and all of the things that the government had planned from years ago, right? But people are only interested now. So there's a lack of wisdom in our electorate. There's a lack of value-based voting that is on a large-scale level. One of the things that I love about the Chinese is that their government plans in 100-year periods. They don't plan for 4 and 5 years. They plan for the generations that they're not going to see. And that is why their technology is way ahead of a lot of the things happening in America right now. They state legacy. You can see it in the way that they do supermarkets and wholesales here. The things that the Chinese Jamaicans do out here. So it's the same thing that they do in China, and they have done it for 5,000 years. So the general ethos and culture of our country, from eat a food culture, what am I going to eat this evening, that kind of short time in our thinking, the Prime Minister is literally trying to challenge the subconscious awareness of the people. And so this election is really going to show if Jamaica is ready to capitalize on the sucks out through wooden spoon that we've done through the last 9 years and have given the Prime Minister time to...
May I ask you, Tari? Jamaica girl, Tari.
Yes.
And here you have a recording. I'm going to ask Nisa to say this again for me. It is fundamental. It is the answer I have been anticipating. I've never heard it put like... Nisa, I could listen to you all night. But may I just ask you to repeat what you've just said? I want my listeners to listen to it again. Listen to this. Go ahead.
I hope I say it right the second time. All right. So, in my opinion,
why is it that with all with all of what the government has done,
Mm-hmm.
the election apparently
It's still
remains close.
Mm-hmm.
How come?
All right.
How come people say time come?
In my opinion, there are many factors that contribute to this, and it is about one, the vision of the government, the work that they've had to take on to move Jamaica from a limp state to now being a model.
Turn up.
Exactly.
From limp to turn up.
Right. And if people really cared and were truly honest enough with themselves, they would probably think that, wait, I don't remember the last time Jamaica was a model for economic turnaround. Jamaica?
Yes.
No, man. That same Jamaica that I grew up in the 90s can't be the same Jamaica. But people aren't looking at those things. So the lack of awareness, the lack of education in certain areas around how long it takes a government to pull its country out of wreckage and emotional turmoil into a state of pride, a state of like Jamaica is kind of in this kind of
Recovery.
adolescent, like a new adolescent just kind of moved through puberty, feeling itself now and saying, okay, I can do this. It's like when a young man realizes he can play ball for real, and then he really start practice now because he realized that he have the talent to do it, right? So because people are not able to make the connection in those ways, it is their values, which is I need to figure out how I'm going to survive right now, every day, vis-a-vis what the government is trying to do, which is a short-term, medium-term, and long-term plan. So because the government has had to tighten the economy in certain ways over the last 9 years and really get the debt to GDP ratio down, right? And put us now in a position where we can go about our economic activities or economic planning or fiscal planning with a little bit more oomph and fervor and a little more intention. The problem is that we're just about at the point where we can really start to feel the prosperity, as he likes to put it. But of course, we would have an election right in the middle of the crossroads, right? So that is one of the things that I know that he recognizes, which is why he's spending so much time in helping people to understand that good governance matters. Who you elect matters. Because people don't pay attention to the politics for the entire 5 years, right? They only want to listen when we're 4 or 5 months out from voting. So now people are trying to catch up. And everything that they hear the government doing, they think is last minute. So there's already an extreme bias against anything the government could say or communicate because you are just finding out about it versus thinking to yourself, oh, I think about a long time, but me just a year. Nobody's taking that perspective. So everybody now is coming into the discussion as a political aficionado, as a professional. Me know politics, me know this, me know that. This the government just come with this. When the truth is, they've been doing it for quite some time. So a lot of the
in other words, that urban center took maybe 2-3 years to be built.
Yes, and the planning, it was even before that.
Yeah, I think they were going probably in 2018, somewhere there.
Not bad.
Yes. I will give you another
The planning
example.
was the most important part because they planned it so well that they led.
The Spark program was first mentioned in Parliament in 2022. A comprehensive program that will take care of the road issue. The first mention was in the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister's budget presentation in 2022. But the process to get them off the ground take them till 2024, right? So when we speak of the red tape and the bureaucracy in getting government program done is also a part of the problem. And this, I've been saying this for a long time. There's a notion in Jamaica that it's only when election are called something to do. But let me give you a run through of how politics in Jamaica work. It's 2025. I campaign for your nearby, so I'm going to fix your road, and you vote for me to fix your road. Right? Now I win. I go to government and I make representation that this road needs to be fixed. Government allocate the money to fix the road. Now, between that allocation and the actual work begin, takes at least 4 years, 3 years.
My
The
God.
next time you see me, I fix the road, guess what? Election time again. You think that is willful, but is the bureaucracy. And again, I don't like to say this, but I have to. Most of these bureaucracy was put in because of how rigged the government of the 1990s was with corruption. That's why most of these loopholes are put in there and prevent you from getting things. But people just go with that notion. They say, oh, it's only election time to fix it. It's not because of a lack of want for trying. It's just how the process works. So with the new position that was given by Ambassador Audrey Marks to make government services more efficient, we should be seeing at ease in that very shortly.
Very good intervention, Chuck. Very good, very good. Nisa?
Yes, sir.
We're wrapping up. You're saying that there is a broad lack of understanding in Jamaica.
Mhm.
And that is really why we are where we are today. But you still feel though, Nisa, that the Jamaica Labour Party will eventually prevail. Yes?
I do, and the reason for that is simple. I just think that there are some ways that the government's progress is undeniable, and there are some things that we're seeing that we haven't seen for quite some time. And it is my hope that when people do go to the polls and they put the X, that they reward the progress and the effort, because what
You're not
cannot
telling them
be
to
said.
shut. You're not telling them to shut their eyes and vote.
No. because what cannot be debated is that
Yes.
the government didn't try. They tried.
Tell them
They
choose
tried.
Jamaica.
They
Tell them choose
tried.
Jamaica.
And I want people to go out and choose Jamaica.
Yeah,
Choose
yeah.
choose Jamaica.
Who's Jamaica?
Choose Jamaica. And one final point on why I believe the government deserves a third term. If you simply do a versus the options that the opposition are giving us and the options for the different portfolios, the different ministries, the government washes the opposition clean in every way. When I'm speaking about competency, I don't want a government that is embarrassing. And right now, the PNP isn't even a proud opposition. They're an embarrassing opposition. And the problem is that a government needs a high-quality opposition to function properly in a democracy.
You
And
are
they can't
quite
even
correct.
get that right. So why should I put my ex beside the head when they can't even give me a reason to say, that's a damn good point by the opposition. All I getting is cast whatever. Sir, we are talking about issues. I want to hear strategy. I want to hear policy. I don't want to hear $1 billion for social media, this and that. Come on, man. That the PNP is taking this thing for a damn joke, and I don't like it. I want them to be more serious with the way that they approach it, man. Get everybody on the same message. What are you offering the people? What better are you coming to give the people? Don't just tell me no stupidness for time come. Do not disrespect the electorate like that. Come with something better, man.
Nisa, you drink Heineken?
No.
No, Nisa, did you say the opposition, the government needs an effective opposition to be a good government, and the opposition has failed?
Of course they have. Come on, man. Come on. Like let's leave the party colors out of it for a second. We're talking about the functioning of the country's democracy. We're talking about the fact that both sides of the house need to be able to contribute to the discussions and policy of the country in a way that pushes the country forward. And if I am to take what I have seen from the opposition in the last 6 months as what they have to bring to governance, then all I'm going to see is either infighting or a cas or a laba or a negativity and nothing fruitful, nothing constructive, nothing to build the efficacy and to build the morale of the people. I want something to build upon. So if they were really smart, you know what the PNP would have done? They would have said, okay, this is what the JLP has done. This is how we will make it better. This is how we will make it even better. We can recognize the progress, but guess what? They made a misstep here, misstep there, misstep there. This is what we offer the people. But do not discount the progress of the government thinking that people are going to fall for that. That's rubbish. And they need to stop taking people for fools. Come with something better. Come with something respectable, man, so that we can listen to you and say, yeah, that's a good plan.
Gonna leave it there. Wow.
Thank you, neighbor.
My dear sister, thank you so much.
Yes, no, anytime, neighbor. You know, long Jamaica girl trying to get through to me. I'm sorry, Jamaica girl.
Well. Tell the listeners that you'll be
No,
back.
man, I'll be back, man. Cause time getting close now, so we need to.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
It is refreshing to listen to young people speak like you do, like you said, Tari, and a few others. It is good to listen to young people who are getting involved, who are trying to understand the politics.
Yeah, man. It's for the betterment of the country, you know. It's not party, it's country. Country over everything.
Jamaica.
Choose Jamaica. Night, everybody.
Night.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, sir. How are you doing, Tari?
Yeah, my neighbor still here burning the midnight oil.
Well, it's 30 minutes to 10 o'clock. It's not very late. But I'll catch you tomorrow. You hear, sir? Catch you tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Have a great night.
Yes, man.
Chuck, what time you come on? What time you come on?
Well, for these days, I am kind of tied up during the day, so I'm setting for the next couple of weeks. I'll be on only on Saturdays.
What? You're in the field?
I am in the field, you know.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that.
All right, don't worry, we talk. But we're out on the ground now. We're getting the work done. We're talking to people, we're making people understand that it's a very consequential election coming up. And we cannot afford, decent people cannot afford to sit at the sideline and allow people who are preaching war to get your war.
So the program is off until Saturdays?
Until Saturdays, yes. Saturdays. And if I get a chance to do like a 1 hour or 2, but for the next about 3 weeks at least, it will be Saturdays only.
Well, I should tell my listeners that beginning next week, we're going to be on, I think we're going to be on at 11. 11 till 1, I think. We're going to do a little day spot.
No problem. I will try to do whenever I can.
Yes, and I'd be happy for that, eh?
All right, no problem.
In the meantime, Saturday. So you'll be on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday is the better day. Yes.
All right. Send me a number, man. Let me call you and talk to you here.
All right, I will do that.
Big up yourself.
All right.
All right, listeners. Take care of yourselves. You hear? What a fantastic show we had today. Thank you for staying with us, eh? Thank you, Nisa. Thank you, O'Shane. Thank you, Tari. Thank you, KC. Philippians joined us earlier, then she left. Jamaica girl, you stayed with us. Thank you so much. I still want you by my side, eh?
Just to help me dry the tears that
I want all of you by my side right through the elections, okay?
so gonna give you a try.
Thank you for staying by my side. Jamaica girl, I haven't heard your voice in a long time.
Baby, I try to
I hope you're taking care of yourself. Enjoy your little time off. Those of you who sent gifts, thank you so much. We didn't get any money gone tonight, but maybe tomorrow. remember to send your gifts, huh? A little roses here, little roses there. It all adds up. Thank you so much for supporting Politics Plus. Oh, look at how late it is and people are still coming on. Helen, are you here? Helen? White Noise Jamaica? What's happening? Hello? 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 Oh, well, I tell you, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that and take us. They're gone. Okay. Right. Let's do that. Let's play one more song and then we'll take you out for tonight until tomorrow. As I was saying to you earlier, we're thinking about coming on in the day, starting next week. So give our listeners a little bit more chance to talk with us, have some little discussions with you in the days, talk a little bit more about the politics. Okay? So until we meet again on this platform tomorrow, I want to say to you tonight that we appreciate you freestyling the days. Yes, we do a little freestyle in the days, a little bit of debate here, a little bit of debate there. Nothing formal, nothing planned, just hanging out with you in the days. Sometimes I realize you don't get a chance to talk to us. So until tomorrow, take care of yourselves. Go hug up your wife or your husband or your girlfriend. Kiss them good night. Take care of your children. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.
I used to call you my girl.